Today is Thursday, October the 16th, year of our Lord 2025. And in today's episode of GovCon Growth Bytes, I want to talk about the use of artificial intelligence, specifically generative AI, in the use of proposals. I was going through my email during the day like we all do and came across another ad post for a webinar talking about how I can accelerate the development of my proposals using artificial intelligence. And, you know, like a lot of these Silicon Valley based firms, you know, they promise to radically alter the face of government contracting. They're going to slash my proposal timelines from weeks and months down to days, making all these bold claims. And I just thought I would take a few minutes and respond to some of this stuff because I see it all the time. And we're using AI in certain ways for both bid qualification and content development. And I think we bring some real kind of on the ground experience with this, and I think it's important. You know, as I think my father and my grandfather used to say, you know, sometimes you just have to call a spade a dirty shovel, and call out some of this stuff. And I want to talk about the reality of using AI. What it can really do, and I think just push back a little bit on some of this extreme messaging, because I'm sure that there are a number of you who are feeling the same way. I took some of this messaging and just dropped it into this Word document, so if you're watching the video of this episode, you'll see these ideas here captured on the screen. So, you know, they start out by describing government contracting as fast-paced, where time is the greatest obstacle to winning, and proposal development can take weeks or months. You know, is that all really true, and is that the right way to describe it? Is government contracting fast-paced? Well, certainly it is, but a lot of that rapid pace is of our own making because we lack a good foundation of strategic planning, so that we're prepared for what we're chasing and the bids that we're pursuing. Now, certainly we encounter some compressed timelines when multiple bids land on our desk at the same time with overlapping delivery schedules and due dates. And so if that's the case, then certainly that can create this sense of fast pace. But you know, government contracting in and of itself isn't fast-paced. We just have to be discerning about what we go after. And is time really the greatest obstacle to winning? I don't really think so. I think knowledge is often our greatest obstacle to winning. What I notice over and over are vendors who are bidding requirements in customers they don't know, trying to address issues they haven't really fleshed out, and with a lack of knowledge of what the true scope of the competitive environment is. Who are the other vendors who are bidding this, and what strengths do they bring to the dance? And how are you going to counter those strengths? What are the weaknesses in your own solution, and how do you shore those up? Who are the right partners to team with on these deals? Not just who are your friends, but who are the companies and the consultants and the subject matter experts that bring that level of expertise and knowledge that will really help you win? Those are the biggest issues. It really all comes down to knowledge. Really does not come down to time. It only comes down to time when you have multiple things to do all at the same time. But if you plan out your calendar, I think you can avoid a lot of that. And then this final statement that proposal development can take weeks or even months. Well, a lot of times we let the government's procurement calendar dictate the pace of our life. But the reason that proposal development takes a long time is because of the scope of what the government's asking us for and of the time it really takes for us to develop those solutions. And while AI can help us accelerate that, I would caution everyone to avoid looking at AI as some kind of magic silver bullet that's going to take away the work that is really required in terms of the thinking and the solutioning and the crafting of your message and of the identifying of your win themes and discriminators and of really the work that goes into writing a winning proposal. AI can help, but is the use of AI going to fundamentally change your win strategy? I think in a lot of cases the answer is no. How does AI, so this next set of bullets, compress the drafting and review timelines from weeks down to days? I think it's important when we think about AI to really consider, what is AI really good for? Well, AI can't do your thinking for you. AI is best described, these generative AI models, whether you're using ChatGPT, Gemini. We've had great success with Notebook LM because we can focus it around a discrete set of documents. If you're not a Google Workspace Enterprise customer, let me encourage you to get a couple licenses and really explore Notebook. It's nice because it allows you to work on a specific collection of documents. But that's really the case no matter what model you're using. It can read the documents that you tell it that you give it access to. But can it develop the solution that's going to win against that customer's requirement? Well, how does it know what the customer's hot buttons are? How does it know how to read between the lines of the RFP, bring together instructions, evaluation factors, statement of work items, and other parts of the RFP collection, along with the capture knowledge that you've developed over weeks or months of doing the groundwork to capture work on this contract? How does AI know how to bring all that together and craft the best message? I would argue often it doesn't. What it can do is give you a summary of the requirement. What it can do is mine your own proposal material and help you identify those solution elements that relate to this new RFP requirement. But then don't make the mistake of hiring the AI analyst to then not only just pull together all that content, but then try to make sense of it and then try to craft a winning solution. AI is not going to be able to do that for you and do it well. That takes human thinking. That takes people who know the customer. That takes people who know your service offering, what makes your offering different than your competitors. And here's just I think too often we, even in open free market economies, we fail to remember some of these baseline principles, which is in the case of AI, if AI is wrong, does it really care if it's wrong? How does AI suffer when they deliver a bad product? Well, it doesn't. But your people that you hire, your proposal writers, your capture managers, your solution engineers, your technical SMEs, they're motivated by personal and market factors to deliver to you the best possible product. And they know that if they fail to do that, there'll be consequences, either near term or long term in their career. And so they're going to do their best to deliver and excel in the tasks that you've given them. How do you hold an AI engine accountable for not doing the right thing? We've got customers right now that are both using AI in some specific ways while also employing consultants to do things like detailed compliance checks at each review cycle. Do you want to trust the compliance of your proposal to a non-sentient, silicon-driven computer algorithm? Or do you want to know that one of your trusted advisors has judged your proposal against the requirement, has done it multiple times, and can tell you why it's deficient and why it's compliant, and be able to look that person in the eye and understand that they've done a good job? There are things that AI can do and do well, and there are a lot of things that AI is not written for yet. And I think it's good for us to draw very clear boundaries and understand what AI can do and what it can't do. And AI in the GovCon proposal game is not yet ready to take the place of good, solid, experienced proposal writers, solution engineers, compliance people, and proposal managers. It can help, but once it's done the majority of its work, it's incumbent upon all of us who are professionals to pick up that content and to own it and to shape it into winning stories and into winning proposal volumes. Share with me in the comments or over email on whichever platform you find this content, and let me know what you think about the use of AI in proposal generation, where it's worked for you, and the challenges that you've encountered. Would love to continue this conversation, and I think there's a lot more that we can talk about. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of GovCon Growth Bytes. My name is Robert Turner. Our Turner Consulting's been doing this for a long time. We've got a great team, and we look forward to seeing you on the next episode.